This is On Your Story podcast. On this episode of the podcast series, we'll be talking about Ukelle Road. And I'm sure it's not news that you already know, for those of you within the cross-river state landscape and its environs, you know that I am from Ukelle Nation. So this is a topic that is very passionate to me as as an indigene of Ukelle. And of course, the road issue has been like an incessant issue that been like the predicament of the Ukelle people. From year in, year out, the Ukelle people are literally livid on the experiences they are going through on that road. I can tell you my own experience, but today we are not here to talk about me. There's someone who is very, very synonymous with that road. He knows the entire history of the road, and of course I have the privilege of today hosting a son of the soil, an illustrious son of Ukelle Nation, who is also in charge of the supervision of the Ukelle Road that is currently being constructed by Cosborn Nigeria Limited. Is in charge of the road construction, and of course Dr. Julius Oputu is the one that has been on top of that road construction from the inception, from the groundbreaking per se, sometime last year. So today we are talking about Ukelle Road on this podcast series. We've had a lot of conspiracy theories, we had a lot of narratives regarding that road. So I decided that, okay, let's come talk about this road. This road is not just some road out there that I'm not directly concerned about. I am so concerned about that road because I can't wait to see that road fully constructed. All right, so I want to officially welcome Dr. Julius Oputu. You're welcome to Hold Your Story podcast.
Thank you.
All right, so today we are going to go straight to the point. We've heard a whole lot about the Ukelle Road, but I want you to, first of all, give us the graphic details about the 5 kilometers. The groundbreaking was done a year ago, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you mobilized to site and all of that. What has been done with that road so far?
Very well. The beauty about this interview is that I'm dealing with someone I can call a witness, to even the progress of that road. Because I remember that we were on that road on the 28th of August when we had smooth access to North-Ukelle. And when the governor asked me specifically to supervise that project, he gave me very clear instructions that for the 5 kilometers, I must ensure that the 5 kilometers must be dealt with in a manner that will enable the Ukelle people to have access. 1 year ago, the Deputy Governor, His Excellency Peter Ode, PhD, Dr. Peter Ode, in company of the chairman of our party, Barrister Alphonsus Oga, and other major stakeholders across the state, flagged off the construction of that road by Coastbound Nigeria Limited. The governor had asked me to ensure that specifications are adhered to and that a proper road is constructed. The Ukelle Road is not an ordinary road. It's a virgin stretch from Yahe to Ebo, Opodon, Izekwe, Wanokom, Wanikade, and Wanihem, onto the Benue border. That is a 40-kilometer stretch, approximately. You have, the federal design has 39.6 kilometers, approximately, put it at 40 kilometers. And the beauty of the history of that road is that those who've been concerned about the road have done so much to ensure that it's constructed, properly constructed. But this is the first time that we are having a proper construction of that road. Now, against the background that the governor, Apostle Senator Basi Edetutu, has been very deliberate. The first thing he did actually was to hand over that road to the current Minister of Works, Senator Dave Umahi. At a meeting with the minister, I was there, coincidentally. Fortunately too, I was at that meeting, the meeting the governor had with the current Minister of Works. In fact, the governor told the minister directly that he owes the Ukelle people one particular form of justice. He calls it infrastructural justice. That the Ukelle people have suffered years and years of neglect and deprivation, and that the road has been a stumbling block to their prosperity. That Senator Umahi should please ensure that that road is in the federal budget and that that road is constructed, because it's a federal road. That is the road that links Cross River State from Yahe to Oju, Oju to Oturukpo, Oturukpo to Weto Local Bridge. That bridge is a 2.5 kilometer bridge stretch across the River Benue. That is in Nasarawa State. From Oloko Oweto, you get to Kefi and you are in Abuja. So it's the shortest route to Abuja, from our axis.
Okay.
So the governor was deliberate that while we wait for the federal government intervention, that he is going to intervene directly, because within the first 3 months of his inauguration, he visited Ukelle. He got to Wanihem, he got to the boundary, between Cross River and Benue State, and gave a strong, concrete promise to the Ukelle people that that road shall be constructed. So he started with, they want to start with 5 kilometers, a award of 5 kilometers in the first instance. And there is a promise that the next phase, shall, commence in a couple of months. And the construction of the first phase, shall be completed in the next 2 months. In fact, by the end of November, the first phase, should be completed.
Okay, so
where we are,
where
we are now, giving this specific instruction, this was what we did. It would have been very easy to go start the road from Yahe, do 5 kilometers between Yahe and Nebo, which has an established, surface that you don't have to do much. There, not much of drainage. Now you go, do your scarifying, establish your surface, apply stone base and asphalt, and in 2-3 months, the 5 kilometers would have been constructed. But you see, because of the governor's insistence that the Ukelle road not being an ordinary road, that we should do something that will give the Ukelle people access, truly, we went to Apata. Apata, constructing Apata is like constructing 3 kilometers of that road. That is the truth. Apata is a 1 kilometer stretch, swamp stretch, between Ebo and Opodon. It's an impossible blockade. In fact, that stretch, that swampy stretch, ordinarily, if that is that's the worst section of the road, it's like, those roads in the Niger Delta that you use a swamp buggy, to construct. But in this case, what we did was, we had to dig down. Mm-hmm. We dug down, removed all the unsuitable materials up to 3.5 to 4 meters stretch. We dug down, really dug down, and then removed all that, and we started building from there. A sandbed. We established a sandbed, up to 600 mm. If you are in engineering, you know that is almost more than 25 inches.
Wow.
So we started building from the sharp sand. We had a sharp sand, bed, then a lateral sand solution, and then we had a geomembrane, an impermeable geomembrane for Apata specifically, because we told ourselves that having done proper surveys. The only way you can give the North-Ukelle people a road is to deal with Apata first, and that's what we did.
All right, so let's talk about the quality of work that has been done. Now, let's even establish where the 5 kilometers started and where he terminated, because there was some misconception from some people who don't even know the graphic details that the place that has been done now is where Jarigbe did. Where was the starting point of the 5 kilometers, and then where did it terminate, and where actually did Jarigbe Agom intervene?
That's a very good one. We've tried, to be mature about that past. We've tried to be very decent. Apostle Senator too is a very decent, governor who doesn't like controversies. So he's aware of the situation of that road. He's aware of the failure, of what, was done earlier. He's been properly briefed.
Okay.
Yes, the 2.3 kilometers after Apata, that is between Okpodon and Izekwe, we have something that was done to give the people a relief. That portion, that section has failed. And of course,
okay, so the thing has
evidence,
failed
that,
currently.
That section has failed.
So how many kilometers did he intervene in?
Now, how many kilometers?
Did Senator Jarigbe intervene?
2.3 kilometers.
Okay, 2.3.
Yes, between Okpodon and Izekwe.
And that was all he did on that road?
Yes, that was
all?
That was what he did. And,
wow.
and you should know that you cannot do a proper road. For the nature of the Ukelle soil, you can't do a proper road there without, a proper hydraulic design and properly executed too. Now, if you look at the road that is currently being done, look at the hydraulics, look at the quantitative aspects of the quantities concerning that road. It's about qualitative delivery. Qualitative delivery is not something you just go and rush and do. I mean, it's very easy now to go and do lateral, do a lateral stretch and then put stone base and then put asphalt. Asphalt that, asphalt has its thickness. So, you must do the right thing. So what we decided to do, looking at the nature of what was done earlier, was to ensure qualitative delivery, with all the specifications, and engineering solutions dealt with appropriately. So for the Ukelle road, you must dig down. I've told you now. We dug down in some sections 4 meters, some other sections 3.5 meters. And then we had to feel. Do you know what it means? That means, you'll be dealing with almost the height of that young man. So we had to feel from that depth, to achieve what we have achieved. And let me tell you, the first question we asked ourselves when we got to site with my engineering team is, what should be the lifespan of that road? And we told ourselves that we should build a road that will last more than 50 years.
Okay.
Yes. Now, because of the nature of our asphalt and the fact that, to get the proper quality of asphalt, there is something you must do. That's engineering. I might not get into the details here. But you see, because of the nature of the asphalt we get, when you build the kind of road we have built, all you do subsequently is when you have any level, of when you have suspicion that any level, maybe some parts of the road might, give way. You run, you do an overlay. Okay. You run through. So that road will last. The sub base, the substructure of that road has been done in a manner that will last for more than 100 years. Yes.
Are you categorically telling us that what has been done on that section of the 5 kilometers is something that will span up to 50 years?
Yes, it will stand. Now, where we are now, let me tell you where we are now. Having dealt with Apata, I've told you specifically that Apata is like constructing 3 kilometers.
Okay.
Yes, you know it. You've been there.
Yeah.
All the bridges and culverts
Yeah.
that were on that we had to remove and rebuild. The approach to Apata, there was a culvert there that had failed. We introduced a mini bridge. You can see it's there, the pictures are there. We introduced a mini bridge. And then now went and introduced 2 other mini bridges within the impossible section where you have that swamp and where water collects, so terribly. If you get there during the rains, you see the volume of water, but you have been there now, you were there. The volume of water on that particular stretch, what we did there was we introduced 2 mini bridges and some culverts, some box, we had to do in situ. We built our culverts there in situ, not box culverts, in situ. And then we now because it was the surveyors, we have one of the best surveyors on that road. We have one of the best surveyors in this state, Surveyor firm. We have one of the best surveyors in this state on that road. So the surveys were so properly done. And if you see the alignment of the road, it's a federal road. And the governor directed that we must abide by those specifications. Because what do you tell the federal government? That you are doing its road and you are not abiding by its specifications. So we have excess qualitative quantities on that road. So now on Apata alone, you can count the number of mini bridges and culverts that have been done. That is why you see, as you are approaching Apata, you see the stability, you see the alignment. And then you now move on to the stretch that has failed. Between Opodon and Izekwe. We have to take care of that stretch. We have to deal
that's the question I wanted to ask.
Yes.
The 2.3 kilometers that was Senator Jerigbe intervened. Now that those sections have failed, what are you going to do about that?
The governor has already given a nod that we should take care of that section. He has. Because the section is a 2.3 kilometer stretch. So you cannot invite the governor to go and commission, the 5 kilometers, that has been put, that has been constructed between, or which construction, started, between Ebo and Opodo. You now invite the governor to commission Apata and then pass through the failed stretch and then go and commission Izekwe, Opodon tree and Wanakom. You cannot do that.
It will be very difficult to explain.
Yes, you cannot explain it. How do you explain it? See,
like, Governor, this is where you did,
yes,
and this is where the senator did.
Yes, you cannot explain it. So what we have the proposal is before His Excellency and the Ministry of Works. In fact, the team from the Ministry of Works visited, and the permanent secretary, specifically Mr. Beppe, told us, look, we cannot tell the governor to come and commission this road without taking care of the failed portion. And when His Excellency the Deputy Governor visited, we stopped at that spot. In fact, that was where Barrister Alphonsus Eba had to go and pick up, a piece of the of asphalt, on the caked asphalt on the failed portion, and took it into his car. But we in all that, you remember there's this thing, about dwelling on the qualitative, particularly for a people, who have suffered like our people have suffered. Long years, of not having, access, and very long years of not being able to connect properly, to modernism. After those long years, our people 3-4 years ago were excited to have that relief between Apata and Izekwe, but it was a temporary relief. Now that it has failed, we have to take care of it. Now, the current situation on that road is this. Having taken care of Apata, we moved beyond the failed stretch to deal with Izekwe and Opodon tree, Okpaka. Then Okpaka, Wanakom. So now, MC1 has been applied on the stretch on the stretch, the Ezekwe stretch to Podun tree, and then we are taking our hydraulics, that is drains and other concrete works into Okpaka, and then Okpaka, Okpaka Manokoma,
So
and the earthworks.
What portion is left right now?
The portion is the stretch. Earthworks have been taken between Okpaka, to Wanokoma. That has been dealt with. The culverts have been done up to the end of the 5 kilometers. Earthworks, taking up to that, level, and then for the 3 kilometers that have been dealt with, MC1 has been applied. That is stone based on MC1 applied. We've prepared that stretch for asphalting. So the next stage is asphalting of the 2 kilometers, and then preparation of the remaining 2 kilometers for asphalt, which the program for completion is between now and the end of November.
All right, so if you're just joining us, this is On Your Story podcast. We've been talking about Ukelle Road, and I have the privilege of hosting Dr. Julius Okutu, who is a supervisor on that road. And of course, that road is being handled by Coastbound Nigeria Limited. And as far as I'm concerned, they're doing a great job. According to what Dr. Julius has told us here, they are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that they deliver on quality. All right, so, I am very interested in this road. And every Ukelle son and daughter should be. Because we've heard a lot of lamentations from when I was born till I grew up to this level. One thing that has challenged the Ukelle nation the most has been that road. And then at a point, I began to wonder, is this a spiritual problem? Because every single administration that comes, they will intervene, it will fail. Intervene, it will fail. I began to ask myself, could this be spiritually controlled? But I'm very happy to hear that at least what has been done now will last for at least 50 years before any other intervention will be done on that road. That is the first 5 kilometers that have been constructed. All right, so now let's talk more about what other details do you think the people need to know. But before you answer that question, these 2.3 kilometers that you are going to take over and construct, because from how I'm seeing it, Ukelle Road has been politicized. They are bringing politics. If anybody wants to make Ukelle people happy, they want to go and do something on the road, even if it's just to stand there and snap picture. Now that they are taking over the 2.3 kilometers, is Senator Jerry Igbe aware that the one he has done has failed?
Well, we have tried very maturely to avoid the politics of it, because that is the governor's instruction. Let us go and do a proper thing for our people. And it shouldn't be about the press. And it shouldn't be about, you see, when you are doing God's work, you must do it.
Very spiritual.
Yes, you must do it. You must do it with a lot of humility.
I see that.
Because the greatest lesson, of man's humility, Christ came as God and as man. The greatest humility, that has been demonstrated, in the life of man, is the exercise of the washing of feet. Christ had to bend down to wash the feet of his disciples. And it is, that this is taken very seriously, in Catholicism. And there is something. So you see, when it is very sobering and humbling to be given that kind of assignment. And let me tell you, if you are not sent by God, you can't do that project. So and if this period, if this season is not a blessed season, where an administration has decided to commit itself to the work of God, if the season is not a godly season, you cannot go there and do anything. It was like building a column.
So right now, it doesn't matter who takes the glory. It's just doing the right thing that leads us to the next level.
Let me tell you, if you go and politicize that process, you have to be careful so that you don't offend God. The governor, of course, you can count the number of interviews he has granted since he became governor. He doesn't talk much about these matters. And, I also have an agreement with him that we should walk quietly, we should walk silently, but that let the results speak. Let the results show. Because what is the point? If we wanted to do something for the media, let me tell you, we would have gone to the approach, the Yaya approach, stable. In fact, the Yaya approach has drains, stable surface. We would have just simply gone there. The amount of earthworks, you don't have to dig. Between Yaya and Ebo, you don't have to dig. But you know that you are a witness. Right? You don't have to dig. The other day, we were in North-Ukelle on the 28th of August. You were in company of the deputy governor and the chairman of party, by Sir Francis Eba, Oga Eba, and other stakeholders from the north and the state. You drove smoothly to North-Ukelle and came out. You drove through the Capitol Hill. The Capitol Hill before now was impossible.
Of course.
Impossible.
Of course.
And you see that culverts have been built up to the former Ukelle whole government secretariat. And then earthworks taken, to that level. All we have done, in fact, let me tell you, what is left, particularly given the quality of what has been done, what is left to be done there will take us, 3 months. In fact, between now and the end of November, we should be done, because the stretch from Okpaka to North-Ukelle, about 2 kilometers. Earthworks have been done appreciably. So now the hydraulics there, we have looked at the terrain. What do we do on the hills? You have hills on that stretch. Sure. There are no hills on the stretch that has been constructed, up to stone base and MC1 level and asphalt at Apata. Now, the stretch to North-Ukelle, we are looking at the hydraulics, closely. Between teacher Ogailum's, late Chief Ogailum's house to teacher Odu, I'm giving you, you are from there, that's why I can give you the specifics. Now, between Chief Ogailum and the late teacher Odu, there was an ancient rock. Don't forget there was an ancient rock that was a complete impediment to the construction of that road. Sure. And no other government. Don't forget that His Excellency, the former governor, Mr. Donald Duke, did some intervention on that road. Corn aid, applied corn aid and all that. And I was involved. But we couldn't remove that stone. Don't forget that, he was the one who did Okolo. Yeah. I also supervised Okolo. And like I have told you, if you are not sent by God, you can't even do.
So how were you able to take out the rock now? What did you do differently?
Let me tell you, the mysteries of the quantities involved on that road are not humanly calculable.
So can we not say the construction of Ukelle Road is not a spiritual process?
It is. If God is not with you, you can't do it. See, I'm saying it. I'm saying it on camera, and if God is not with you, you cannot do it. Okay, now tell me, how do you construct Apata ordinarily?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Yes. What actually did you experience on that road that makes you say it's a spiritual process?
Okay, now.
What are the challenges that challenge you the most?
I would have left you to go and try to remove the late Ogailum's Okpaka rock. I would have left you to go and do it ordinarily. I would have left you to go there.
But I've asked you what you did differently.
Now, spiritual.
Were there sacrifices done?
Spiritual matters.
Or you brought pastors to come and pray?
Okay, let me openly tell you.
Were there incantations?
Let me tell you very openly.
Yeah.
There is a grace that you are given to go and do certain things. Before you go and do those things, ask for the company of that grace. That was what followed us.
Okay.
We asked for the company of that grace.
Okay.
Nothing, no sacrifice, nothing. It was purely God. But, when you go to that road, look at the alignment. Look at how that road is constructed. Look at the Izekwe Okodon tree section. From close to the market. Look at the construction there. Look at, what has been done, around Apata. You will definitely know that is not an ordinary construction. And I tell you, in terms of the qualitative aspects, you can't put a human finger.
Okay.
You can't put a human finger on what has been done there. It's true. If you have been involved, even the workforce, the amount of work that has been done within 5 kilometers.
Okay,
You can stretch it up to 10.
From Flag up to where you are now, how many months did it take you?
Yeah, 9-10 months.
9-10 months.
9,
And then you are
10
giving
months,
us,
because
you are saying categorically that in the next 2 months you should complete the 5 kilometers.
by the end of November, because you see, we hold the secret to that construction. See, it was strategically done. What we did was go to the worst section of the 40-kilometer road stretch. The worst section of that road is between Apata and North-Ukelle. But you know it now, you are a witness, you know it. I don't know whether, is it contestable? Because you have to contest it.
No, of course.
The worst section of that road.
Every Ukelle son and daughter knows what actually plays out on that road.
The worst section of that road is between Apata and North-Ukelle. And that is what we have dealt with. Now, don't forget that when we started, we had to do palliatives just to enable us to have access.
Okay.
Remember that you were involved in last year's New Yam Festival.
Sure.
And you came in and begged
And
that
I
in order not for the festival to be taken out of North-Ukelle, that I should go and walk.
Yes.
I went. You know what I did?
No, but
you were with me.
Are you going to sabotage the New Yam Festival? Or you are going to walk?
You spoke almost rudely to your uncle. I would say it. You spoke almost, and we went. Yes.
That motivated you to get the job done.
Yeah, we got the road done.
Yeah.
We got the road done. Senator Jarigbe, others who came, persons who came from us, drove smoothly last year.
Yeah.
And then now we got onto the proper construction. And the governor's instruction was, don't be in a hurry. Give your people
the best.
A proper road. They have suffered infrastructural justice for too long. That was his instruction. And the instruction of the Commissioner for Works. The Commissioner for Works supervises that road directly. And then go and look at the stretch that we have not asphalted. Look at that stretch. You have a road already. So now, when we now, introduce and apply stone base on that stretch, do our hydraulics, take our hydraulics to the end, and then asphalt. We've told the company that is supplying us asphalt, if you cannot give us the best asphalt in this country, then don't get involved. Yes, we have.
So can you categorically say that road is well funded?
Yes, to be fair to the governor.
The funding is...
To be fair to the governor, he has not refused us anything. But let me tell you what we have done. We had to, because friendship is involved here, and because brotherhood is involved here, I want to take this personal responsibility. There were certain things we did in excess of the ministry's brief. And I'll tell you this. Being a federal road, the initial design was that the width of the road should be 7.3 meters. The 7.3 meters. If you should be involved in engineering now. To the drains, but we had to increase the width of the road from 7.3 meters to 10.3 meters to ensure that.
So why was that not taken into consideration from the initial design? Fine.
Now, the initial design of that road came from the Ministry of Niger Delta.
Okay.
Now, that design, incidentally and coincidentally, that design was also influenced by His Excellency, the governor. In fact, he was the one who appealed to the minister of the Niger Delta Affairs at the time, to ensure that the North-Ukelle road was designed for construction. When he did that, I am sure, at that time, fine in the realm of the spirit, something was going to happen. But as men, we didn't know that this day will come. Now he's presiding also on the implementation of that design of the North-Ukelle road. He influenced the design. Okay. by the federal government.
Okay.
You know, the design
So
of the
now
North-Ukelle road by the federal government. So now that
increment.
that design is available to the Ministry of Works, to the State Ministry of Works. That design is available to Coast Bank. You know, so now we have that design. So what we have done is to ensure that, because you see, looking at a federal road, you know, the specifications are naturally meant to be the way they are. Don't forget that that road, you know, is a road you must construct with the axial load, you know, of the trucks you see there in mind.
Yeah.
You know, you must do your transport studies first. How many trucks? But the Dangote trucks have started moving.
Yeah.
And you see, what is on, let me tell you, what is on a pattern now is the binder course. We are supposed to have a wearing course on it to satisfy those specifications, you know, that are supposed to give us a federal route. So that is the mix, you know, that is being dealt with. You know, now,
so the increment you have done now,
yes.
Is it going to be sustained? Would that correction be effected in the federal ministry?
Now, this is it. This is the situation.
Yeah.
You see, if you want to eat a toad, go and eat the juiciest of them all.
Okay.
And you know, from my background, you know, fine. You see, you must be futuristic in certain things.
Okay.
Tomorrow, see, the governor handed over that road. I gave you this background.
Sure.
Handed over that road to Senator Dave Umahi, the Minister of Works, the current Minister of Works, and said, go and do a road for my people. Yes, the governor calls the Ukelle people my people. And you see, Beatrice, you are from there, you have to know this. That is why that education, it's important to have that education. I'm giving you this background. The governor handed over the road to Senator Dave Umahi, and with a specific plea, please, let us do a proper road for my people. They have suffered too much. Now, against, you know, that background, I was sent to go and supervise the project. Now, I mean, so, you know, at the back of my mind, I remember that meeting. I remember that encounter. And if I have to supervise a project properly, and conscious of the fact that the Yahe Wanikade, Yahe Wanokom Wanikade, Wanihem, Benue border road into Oju, links us up to Abuja, wouldn't I naturally be ambitious and expectant that whatever I do in the name of friendship and brotherhood, that God will supply Cross River State the money, you know, to pay for it? This I have told you, that if God has not sent you, and if God does not send you, don't go there. So I am there. I'm there as a child of God.
You are sent by.
I am completely.
How are you sure?
Yes.
At what point did you know that you were sent by God to do that route?
Of course, I've always had the experiences.
Okay, so
when I was sent to do Okolo, didn't you know I was sent by God? So could you who know the mysteries around Okolo, can you construct Okolo and come out ordinarily? It's if God is not involved.
Okay, so with the mysteries surrounding Ukelle Road, what would you say has challenged you the most on that route? For
me, at the back of my mind, within the consciousness that I have been sent by God with my team, I just keep going. And I have always had the support of the governor.
Okay.
In fact, there was something the governor did to even enable us, you know, put the binder on Apata. And I know I have his support, you know, to keep going, because the governor has God's support.
Okay.
Which also translates, you know, to God's support, you know, for me. I am saying this from our experience. Let me tell you, if you look at the construction of that road, you know, it's a whole process from the foundation. Yes, we dug onto a foundation, onto a stable, to some level of stable foundation to build that road. Don't forget that when Okolo was, I want to take you to Okolo. When we constructed Okolo, we didn't have the equipment, to do, in those days, if you have to do a project of that
Magnitude
and nature, you must invite a company that will drill down. The company drills down. The drilling down process is never easy. You have to run pipes. There's an engineering name for it. Now, you must run pipes through to establish a strata upon which you begin to build your bridge. What happened, in the case of Ukelle was this. We prayed. Yes, we prayed about it very deeply. That is why you can never, from my experience, you must be involved with God in every process. I'm going to come back to the process of the construction of the current road that we've done. But when we did Ukelle, we were conscious of the fact that we must pile. At that time, it was only Trevi. It was only one company, at that time that could competently do piling. And you know what it means? How to go and hire Trevi from Lagos. You have to go and hire Trevi from Lagos to come and do piling for you in Wanihame. Those resources were not there.
And that bridge is still standing.
Let me tell you what we did. We looked at it. How are we going to build? So we now started digging. We started digging. A few equipment. Equipment. With the few equipment we had, we started digging. You know what happened? We dug onto a rock strata. We did. Down there, beneath Ukelle, you have a rock strata. So we built Ukelle on a rock strata. And the same thing happened. Ukelle was supposed to be, the width of Ukelle was supposed to be 7.5 meters. We increased it to 11 meters and accommodated walkways.
Wow.
And we built it. You know that, we have walkways on Ukelle.
Sure.
We built it. See, it's against this background that I very, very boldly, with the fear of God and the approval of His Excellency, it's against this background that I do the things I do because they have always worked. Let me tell you, and I want to make a prediction here. The Ukelle road that amounts to a clear infrastructural justice, properly done and completed at the end of the day, you are going to see something will happen. Even the federal policy that the federal government does not pay for the construction of federal roads now, even that federal policy is going to be reviewed. This state government is going to benefit across board.
All right.
For the construction of the North-Ukelle road. Go and write it down as a prediction. It's going to happen. I like that. I speak as a child of God.
I like that.
Yes,
all right, so if you're just joining us, this is On Your Story podcast. We let you in on critical issues, topical issues happening in our landscape, within the cross-river state landscape. And of course, the Ukelle road has been one road that has been in the news. And it got to a point where it appears that it's been politicized, and a lot of people during elections, that is the road that is always trending because of the impassable nature. And of course, we had the privilege of having His Excellency the Governor do groundbreaking of 5 kilometers, and we've been on the progress report of that road, and we've gotten the information from Dr. Julius Oputu, who has told us that what has been done so far can span across a lifespan of 50 years. And that is the fact I am super excited about, that at least we have something durable. Let's take a look at the expansion of that project. Are we still going to have Coastborn take charge of the expansion process? No. Or we are going to see another company come in to take charge?
No. There is a saying in Ukelle that Bekagba Bahu Badane. Now, I mean, you understand me now. See, let me tell you. Go and look at the quality of what has been done. There is no particularly for an administration that fears God. I think our interest on that project is not going to be about the number of kilometers that we must do as a company. No.
Okay.
Interest. The governor sent me there to ensure that there is qualitative delivery.
Okay.
And if you ask the engineers in the Ministry of Works, about what has been qualitatively delivered in Cross River State, they'll tell you that it's a North-Ukelle road. Now, let me tell you, the construction of a North-Ukelle road is a whole process. I don't know, unless for Adiabo Ikonetu. I don't know of any other road that you will dig down, 4 meters and start building. Now, having done that, you have evidence. We have evidence of all our construction processes, including where we had to lay an impermeable geomembrane. So if you have, wherever you have qualitative delivery to that degree, I'm not speaking because I'm involved. To that degree, the world over.
The winning team cannot be changed.
The world over. See, the essence of being involved is, let me tell you, the governor was deliberate. When he visited the site, the first time he visited the site, he looked at what we were doing. And what did he say? He said, fine, I've asked you to come here and work for you.
So what is his mindset
and
right now?
Truly, but I'm coming now.
Yeah.
He said, I asked you to come and work for your people. And you are truly working for your people. Continue. Let me tell you, if we were going to deliver an ordinary road, we would have finished in 5 months. But I've told you now, we would have finished in 5 months now. Now, you see, the stretch from your hair is going to be taken care of. The stretch into Wanikade and Wanihip will be taken care of. I have told you that because God is involved in this process, only his instruments will be asked to go and do his work.
All right, so we'll keep talking about the Ukelle Road and give you more details. We'll go to the field to give you the graphic details of what is going on. I'm sure some of you don't even understand what we are talking about. And for those who know, we're going to give you insights on all that is going on that road for you to understand how that road works and where it is right now. And of course, you've heard the categorization of where the 5 kilometers started and of course where it ended. And then, of course, the supervisor, who is Dr. Julius Okuto, has told us that in 2 months, the 5 kilometers will be completed. And then we can now talk about commissioning. All right, so I want you to talk to the Ukelle people. Because one other thing is that you said the governor is with you, and the governor is satisfied. Are the people with you as well? The people of Ukelle, are they with you?
Yeah, you were at Wanocom on the 28th of August. And the 6 wards of Ukelle were massively represented at the reception. And that reception, where we received the deputy governor and his team. And I witnessed what happened. When the chairman of the party, after speaking with, having gone through that road, after his interaction, with a good number of our people, but what did he do? You were there when he called me out, and asked that God bless the team, using me as a point of contact, that God should bless the team for what we are doing. And what was the response of the people? These people have never witnessed that level of access. You see, we didn't go there. It's not an ordinary construction, I have told you. We got to the worst part of the road and decided to take care of that road in a manner that might not be quantitatively explicit. I have told you that in this case, you must look at the qualitative aspects of the quantities. That is what you must look at. Yes, on that road. The ordinary eye, the ordinary engineering eye, may not even be able to comprehend and appreciate what is there. That is the truth.
All right.
You know that our people have been given a road. What is going to happen is that we'll take the stretch, beyond and keep going. But it is no more going to be as challenging as what we have done. Even, I'm telling you now that, in the next 2 months we can finish that project. It is because we have dealt with the impossible aspect. Let me tell you, the impossible section of that road is Apata. That is then, after the Ezekiel Market, you have the Obiam section, the Abri Hill. The Abri Hill, vehicles, once the rainy season starts, vehicles cannot climb the Abri Hill. The Abri Hill. Then you have the Agede section. It was impossible. Those sections have been dealt with. So what is left is the icing, on the cake.
Okay.
The cake has been built, and that is why I am interested in your ability and maybe interest in looking at the process involved. I don't know. You have all. I've supplied you all the details.
Yeah.
The process of that construction. Put it forward. How we dug down. You have everything, and how we built. That's why I'm saying I'm confident that beyond 50 years we have a road. It's not even just the overlay. But a road is the base strata. It's the sub base. Yes. When you are building a road, it is more about the sub base. It's not the icing.
So still on the paper, were you outsourcing your raw materials within Ukelle Nation?
Yes. What we do is within the capacities that were available within.
Okay.
We called, we did some.
So we can categorically say that the people were also empowered in the process.
Yes, they were involved. We called them to supplies, and all that. But we're going to do more of that. We're going to do more of that involvement, of the I don't want to
local
call
content.
I don't want to call local. I don't want to call of the indigenous.
Okay.
Indigenous. We are going to involve our indigenous, strength. Strength. The more, moving forward.
Okay.
But, you asked a question, and I must answer that question. How happy are our people? I want to ask you a question directly too, because you are one of us. How happy were you when you moved, smoothly into North-Ukelle, and you got out without the usual, you used to fall on that road, fall on that stretch. How happy were you when that happened? You saw our visitors on the 28th of August, all of them were in North-Ukelle. They got in there and had to speed out.
And August was rainy season.
Rainy season. How happy were you to do that stretch on the Capital Hill, without encumbrance? We dealt with all the encumbrances. You know what we did? Knowing the nature of the road, we had to deal with all the culverts. The culverts. The teacher would do culverts. We dealt with, and then did the earthworks there. Having removed the ancient rock, the rock of ages, in this case, the human rock, not the divine. Having removed that rock. And we did was deal with the stretch of that road that was impossible to do. So the people are excited. Go to them. Go look at the North-Ukelle people. Asphalt has not been taken to North-Ukelle. But
what you're saying, the remaining 35 kilometers won't be so difficult to handle like what you've done in these 5 kilometers.
In fact, you can say that yourself. You can say that yourself because you know that if we didn't handle Apata, you cannot talk of a North-Ukelle road. As having been constructed. See, let me tell you, this is before I'm saying this. Ask any Ukelle man, any North-Ukelle person or South-Ukelle person who has been on that road, or ask any outsider who has been on that road. If you don't build Apata first, that means you have not done anything. So having dealt with the Apata Ezekwe Okodon section, having dealt with the Capital Hill, having dealt with the Tichaudu, earthworks up to that extent, and having taken the culvert, there and all that, we have a road. We will do the embellishments, in the next 2 months, we should be done. And because that is the program.
We've been on Ukelle Road. Ukelle Road is in Northern Crossover, and of course in the Yala 2 state constituency precisely. I'm sure you've heard about Ukelle Road and Ukelle Nation as well. And I'm very excited that that road has been done to the extent which it has been done. That I know the remaining 25 kilometers is still undone, but these 5 kilometers has provided some level of access. Before we go, what is your rating of Coastbound Nigerian Limited? How well have they performed?
Yeah, you don't self-evaluate, and you cannot be a judge in your own court. I mean, we talked about the humility of things, and you've been to that project, and you told me some minutes ago that Barrister Alphonsus Eba is not someone who will tell you you've done well if you have not done well. And you also told me that you share in the accolades of that day when he called me out and said, you've truly worked. You and your team, you've truly worked for your people. I think that evaluation should be done by the engineering team in the Ministry of Works.
Okay.
By God's grace, the governor will be there again. He was there. He was there some months ago. He's going to be there again. The deputy governor was there. We have a commissioner who is a member of the State Executive Council from Wanihema and Wanikade. He's a Wanihema and Wanikade person, yes, because his parents are Wanihema, but he's married from Wanikade. We also have a local government chairman who has personally called me to dinner to say, my younger brother, he took care of me when I was young.
Okay.
He did, he was, he's part of my family, who has called me to dinner to say, please continue to do what you are doing for your people. If man does not reward you, God will reward you. You have Honorable Martin Sachado. He's a stickler, for good things, for quality. And you have been there. You've been supervising the project. You told me, an hour ago, before we got into this interview, that if there was anything qualitatively wrong with that delivery, you'd have called me and told me. So you have confessed to the quality of that delivery. Your people, your team, the elite, our people. Do you know what? When we took our impermeable geomembrane there, see, you must have respect for our people. Do you know that the indigenous population came to look at what we were doing, to assess, they evaluate what we are doing? I tell you, okay, let me, it's not a challenge, but let me throw this to you. Go and look at the channels. I call them channels. Those drains we have built. Go and take the pictures of the drains we have done. Juxtapose them against other works. See, we set out to give our people the best, and we'll continue to give our people the best. We are not going to do it in a hurry. You see, you don't do things properly in a hurry. The things that you do in a hurry, most of the time, if you look at them, they may not be thoroughly done. So what we have done is, and we'll continue to, do, if we have the opportunity, and by God's grace, as we continue, we'll rather increase the quality of delivery, because now, as we move, we are going to have some ease, with the nature of equipment we have. Of course, now, you know the nature of equipment we have, and with the nature of personnel we have, the team that we have, led by surveyor engineer Ofen, that team is about the best team you can find. And so the coastbound team, as we speak, can deliver any project. And I mean, can deliver tunnels. Yes, because, ask me why.
Why?
God is with us.
I like that. All right, so we have to wrap up. We're going to go to the field with you. I'm sure before the final commissioning, we'll do a tour of the entire route of the 5 kilometers to show people practically what we are talking about. And beyond that, I'm sure that Ukelle Nation can as well have a sigh of relief that they've had some level of access within this period with the delivery of the 5 kilometers. What would be your message, first of all, to the governor of Cross River State for the solidarity and support he has shown to Ukelle Nation and to the people of Cross River who are watching us?
Um, in all humility, I want to thank God for having a brother and a friend in the governor of this state. He's acted in the best interest of this state and its people. His people's first agenda and mantra is faithfully committed to that agenda. And you see, how best could he have demonstrated that than go down, than listen, to the cry of a people who through the years, you remember in 2021, 2022, when you and I were called home to a meeting, and we had to do motorbikes from Yahe through North-Ukelle in Wanokom. We couldn't use motorbikes on the Yahe, Wanokom, Wanikade, Wanihem road stretch.
Sure.
We couldn't use motorbikes.
Sure.
Do you remember?
Of course.
Do you remember that experience?
Of course.
We had to pass through Ebo. We did North-Ukelle to Wanokom, and then did Ozenyo again to Wanikade. The North-Ukelle road was impassable. So for those who I don't want to call them, I don't want to talk about evil here. For those who are not fairly minded, for those who suffer from some level of amnesia, because they now have smooth access to a certain degree. It's a 4-kilometer stretch. What we are doing is within 5 kilometers on the governor's directives. But we also went ahead to do some grading, shaping, and we did some air drains from Yahe up to Wanikade and beyond. We did. At that time, the Wanihem stretch of the road was still very stable. So we didn't do much work there. But we have taken pains to ensure that our people have complete access, and that has happened within the mandate to do 5 kilometers. We've taken pains. That is why there is something about the pain and joy of a struggle. It's an oxymoron. Yes. There is, you see, let me tell you, when you walk that way, something happens to you.
So your message to the governor.
You have a relief.
Yeah.
So now, the governor, having done this to us as a people, we, including you, as Ukelle people, should kneel down and continue to pray for the advancement, ascendancy of his aspirations as governor, now and beyond. We pray for him. I urge all of you, as Yala people, don't forget that he's doing the Mfom or Poma Okuku stretch. Don't forget that the governor is also doing the Okuku Yache stretch. Don't forget. Don't forget that the governor has gone into Mbube. Don't forget that the governor is currently in Ogoja. So as he is doing Ukelle, he's doing all of that. He's moving across the state. He wants to address every infrastructural justice that you find everywhere in Cross River State. So as Ukelle people, where he started, to a certain degree, where he started, we owe him a debt of gratitude. And we ask God, we'll continue to ask God to come down for him, so that his policies, his programs, and projects, let God rain down resources for him to realize his dreams and ambitions.
Specifically to Ukelle people on that road, because I know a lot of people who don't have the complete information are coming up with conspiracy theories, and some other people have said what they don't understand, what will be your specific message to Ukelle people as the supervisor of that project?
One, I pray for them. I pray for gratitude amongst our people, for a mind of gratitude amongst our people.
Okay.
I ask God to forgive those who may not understand the intricacies of what is happening.
Okay.
Now, some are saying, a 40-kilometer road stretch was awarded, now, why are there still some spots that are not smoothly accessible? The whole road is accessible, fine. But why are there still some spots that are not smoothly accessible? I tell them that, yes, what we are dealing with is a 5-kilometer stretch between Apacha. Remove the 2.3 kilometers, the failed portion between Opodon, and the Ezekwe market.
Ezekwe market, yeah.
Yes, remove that. What we are dealing with is between, and this education is important, this information is important, is between Apata, I will be specific, Apata, Teacher Obiem, the Abri Hill, that hill that was very tricky, you almost, wouldn't be able to pass there. The Abri Hill to the John Uputu branch in Ezekwe, to Agede, you remember the Opodon tree culvert that was a death trap? Do you remember the Opodon
Sure.
tree? Yes. One section of that culvert had failed. So now you'll be running through, the somewhat protected, where you still have some concrete to your left. Now, if you are driving through in the night and you're not able to see that, that failed portion, you run in there, a lot of people died. Let me tell you, a lot of people died on our road. A lot of persons lost their lives on that road. And so now, what we have dealt with is ensure that we deal with the fundamental engineering solutions to a long-standing problem.
To your message to the people.
Yes,
of
I'm
Ukelle
coming.
Nation. Yeah.
I'm coming. I'm still there.
Yeah.
To a long-standing problem in a manner that will give generations to come. Because you see, let me tell you, the construction of a road is not something you do and go and repeat. Go and repeat. See, let me tell you. 5 years ago, diesel was around 300 naira per liter.
Okay.
Today, in fact, when we started that construction, diesel was around 1,000, 300. Now, 1,200 and about that. And the component, for road construction, diesel is a major component. So now, look at the difference that this makes. So for the governor to have insisted that a qualitative delivery be done, our people must remain grateful to him. That is why I wasn't circumlocuting. I was going to get here.
Okay.
Now, you see, there is something gratitude does. Now, gratitude and appreciation is like Bahuk, Badoke. Yes. So now, if you don't appreciate what you are getting, no matter how, you can't say 5 kilometers is not little. Do you know what it takes to construct a 5-kilometer road? It's huge. Now, the quantities involved and the kind of delivery, if you cannot, let me tell you this. Even if the governor went to North-Ukelle and did Apata alone, would have had some level of access and relief. Yes. So, anybody who experienced what you and I experienced by passing through Uhakilu, Alebo Uhakilu, to Wanokom, and to through Oyoba to Wanikada and Wanihim. Anybody who experienced that in 2022 and is not able to say thank you to God and thank you to the instrument that God has used. Opposite Senator Basu, to anybody who is not able to do that is ungrateful. But for them, for those who are ungrateful and are involved in all sorts of conspiracy theories, I ask God to forgive them. The governor will commission that project and will do more. I am certain, because in fact, the deputy governor had made a pronouncement on the 28th. made that pronouncement. I am certain that this is what the governor has in mind. This is what he has in mind. This is the strategy. This is how it's going to be done. Now, look at the mathematics. If you do a 5-kilometer stretch every year for 8 years, how many kilometers will you have? Can someone volunteer?
That would have been complete 40 kilometers.
40 kilometers! That is what Senator Otu has in mind. He did his mathematics and said, I'm going to be here by God's grace, by God's special grace, particularly against the backdrop of his current performance. Mm-hmm. He's going to be here for 8 years. So if Senator Otu simply does 5 kilometers of the North-Ukelle road every year, mm-hmm. we are going to have 40 kilometers of the road into Benue done. And the federal government is doing the Benue. So my message again to Ukelle people is that appreciate what is being done. Now you have access. Even if it's, appreciate what is being done. In the next 2 months, I have told you, the 5 kilometers will be completed. So now, thank the government. I'm not urging anybody to, after all, for Senator Otu, he's not advertising the things he's doing. He's not even bothered. I know him. He's not bothered for God. But then, I know that 90% of Ukelle people appreciate what he's doing. You know that. We saw them in North-Ukelle. They thanked him. And they have asked us to convey our thanks. But for those who are doing politics with it, may God forgive them. And, we pray that they should be redeemed, of their ingratitude. It's redemptive. Yes, they should be redeemed of their ingratitude.
Thank you very much.
So that even their personal lives, if you see those who are coming on camera, those ones who have been paid to come and make statements that are unsavory because they want the governor to get angry. If you see them, you see them. You see their faces. You see the anger. Don't you know that when the light of God is coming, the devil gets angry? But we are also praying that they should have salvation and redemption. Let them have salvation, so that they can, and when they have, mm-hmm. they are going to follow this train, because God is in this train.
I say amen to that. I've also learned a whole lot about the 5 kilometers construction work that has been done on Ukelle Road. I've heard every detail concerning that process. For me, I want to say that thank you very much to His Excellency, the Governor of Cross River State, for ensuring that the Ukelle people have some sort of relief on that road. That road has been one of the greatest impediments to Ukelle Nation. And I want to specifically say that at the end of the day, Ukelle Nation will have your name written in gold for the intervention that is being done on that road. But I remember, and this is On Your Story podcast. On this podcast series, we let you know on everything happening on the landscape of Cross River State. We try to debunk what is happening, that all the misinformation that goes on our landscape, and to let you know the reality, the facts-based analysis of critical issues, topical issues in our landscape that you ought to be a part of. We let you in on how to be a part of the process and to support the administration of Senator Prince Basedodo Otu for us to collectively build a cross river state of our dream. And I remember, Mr. Akpala, keep watching On Your Story podcast. I'll see you all the time. Bye-bye.